Have you ever felt spiritually stuck? Like you're standing still at a point in your life, unsure of where to go next? Maybe you're going through a time of doubt, seeking clarity to truly understand what's happening in your life. If you want to discover how to overcome this confusion and finally find direction on your spiritual path, stay with me in this video. Stick around until the end, and together we'll explore the stages of spiritual transformation and how to move through them with more clarity so you can move forward with confidence and purpose. Spiritual transformation is a process of self-discovery and inner growth. At some point in life, many of us begin questioning our beliefs, habits, and the direction we're heading. These moments can be challenging and often uncomfortable. However, they are essential for accessing a deeper understanding of ourselves and our purpose. This process of spiritual transformation isn't linear. It happens in cycles or stages, and each one brings its own unique challenges and opportunities. At first, it may seem like we're lost or disconnected, but the truth is, these moments of uncertainty are a natural part of growth. Instead of fighting against these feelings, it's important to understand them and integrate them into your spiritual journey. Throughout this video, we'll explore these stages, understanding how they manifest and how we can navigate them more clearly and consciously. Recognizing that spiritual transformation happens in stages allows us to better prepare for the challenges that come with each one. More importantly, this understanding gives us the opportunity to move forward on our spiritual path with less confusion and more purpose. Each stage is an opportunity for growth, even if it feels like the opposite at the moment. Each one brings valuable lessons that can transform your life for the better if you know how to approach them. This is where the importance of clarity comes in. When you know what stage you're in and what to expect, you can act consciously and align with your true self. Now that we understand the concept of spiritual transformation and the importance of recognizing its stages, let's dive into the first one, the initial awakening. In this phase, many begin to notice subtle changes in their perception of the world and start questioning their beliefs. But along with this new perspective, doubts and uncertainties arise. The first phase of spiritual transformation is the initial awakening. This is when we start to notice that something in our life is changing. Often, this happens subtly, almost imperceptibly at first. You may find yourself questioning beliefs that once seemed unshakable, or feeling disconnected from routines and habits you followed without thought. This awakening can come after an event, like a personal crisis, a major success, or even a moment of deep introspection. However, what truly defines this phase is the sense that something within you is shifting, and perhaps the path you've been following no longer makes sense. The common challenges in this phase include a sense of confusion, as if you're waking up to a new reality, but don't yet know what to do with it. There may be a feeling of existential crisis, where questions about the meaning of life and your purpose become much more present. This can be unsettling, and it's common to feel disoriented, unsure of what the next step is. This phase is an opportunity to start practicing meditation, which helps calm the mind, bring more clarity, reduce anxiety, and allow you to view this phase as an opportunity. Setting aside moments for introspection, where you can reflect on your feelings and thoughts, is also essential. Keeping a gratitude journal helps you focus on the small things you're thankful for, even amid the confusion. This phase brings to the surface emotions that have been repressed for a long time. What was once hidden deep within now starts to emerge, which can create a sense of emotional turbulence. Many experience an increase in intense emotions, such as sadness, anger, or guilt. These emotions, which may have been ignored or suppressed, finally rise to the surface, demanding attention and healing. It's as if spiritual awakening has opened the door for these emotions to be released. And while it may be a painful process, it's necessary for your growth. You may feel overwhelmed or disoriented as you face these emotions head-on. The tendency here is to try to avoid or ignore these feelings, but doing so only prolongs the process. Ignoring these emotions only prevents you from moving forward to the next stage of your spiritual transformation. In this phase, encourage emotional release and self-awareness by practicing therapeutic writing, where you write freely about what you're feeling without judgment. This simple act of putting your emotions on paper can be incredibly liberating. Additionally, honest conversations with friends or spiritual mentors can help process these emotions with more clarity. The void, or the dreaded dark night of the soul, is a phase marked by a deep sense of disconnection and, in many cases, despair. Here, you may feel like everything that once made sense has completely lost its value. It's as if you're walking in the dark, unsure of where to go, and unable to see any light at the end of the tunnel. This is one of the most challenging moments of the spiritual journey because it's when you face your true inner crisis. During this phase, it's common to question everything: your beliefs, your purpose, and even the validity of the spiritual path itself. This can often be accompanied by feelings of abandonment and loneliness. You may feel isolated, as if you're completely disconnected from your true self and from those around you. There's a sense of emptiness, and the answers you seek seem farther away than ever. At this point, many people wonder if they're on the right path or if they should give up. This feeling of abandonment can cause great anguish, but this is where transformation happens. Passing through the dark night of the soul involves practices of acceptance and patience. Meditation, especially the practice of acceptance meditation, can be extremely helpful here. Through meditation, you allow the feelings of emptiness to exist without trying to resist or fight against them. Another important approach is seeking support. The presence of others who have gone through something similar can be comforting and help bring some light to the darkness. During this phase, include the practice of self-compassion and gentle internal dialogue. When you feel at your lowest, instead of criticizing yourself, remind yourself that this is a temporary phase and that you are exactly where you need to be for your growth. Another effective action is allowing yourself to sit in the void for a while, without rushing to find immediate answers, knowing that they will come at the right time. When you finally emerge from this darkness, you'll be stronger and more aligned with your purpose. Reintegration and redefinition of purpose is the phase marked by a sense of renewal and clarity. Although the wound from the void may still be healing, you now begin to realize that the experiences you've been through have given you a new perspective. In this stage, you start to integrate everything you've learned in the previous phases. The lessons that seemed harsh now make sense. What was once confusing becomes clear, and you feel like you can finally align your life with your true purpose. The chaos and uncertainty begin to give way to calm and certainty that you're on the right path. You start to redefine who you are and what your role is in the world. The common challenges of this phase include the fear of letting go of old patterns and habits that no longer make sense. Even with this new clarity, it can be difficult to leave behind what brought you this far, even if it's no longer aligned with who you've become. Another challenge is the uncertainty of how to apply these new insights to your practical life. You may feel anxious about how to start living according to your new values and beliefs. The solutions for this phase include creating a plan that aligns with your newfound purpose. This involves reflecting on the aspects of your life that are no longer in tune with your inner self and making conscious changes to align with your new vision. It's also important to let go of beliefs, behaviors, and even relationships that no longer serve your growth. Small daily changes can also be powerful, such as adjusting your routine to include practices that nurture your new self. In this stage, the transformation that began within you now expands outward, connecting with the world around you. With a clearer sense of purpose, you feel a natural call to share your gifts and contribute positively to the collective good. The idea of separation between you and the world dissolves, and you begin to realize that your personal growth is deeply connected to the growth of all. This phase is characterized by a deep connection to something greater than yourself. Many people describe this phase as a feeling of unity with the universe or a strong connection to the whole. It's about seeking answers for yourself and using the lessons you've learned to help others find their way too. It's a time to externalize your spiritual growth through actions that benefit both you and the collective. The common challenges of this phase can involve feeling overly responsible or overwhelmed, especially for those who feel a strong desire to save the world or help others. There may also be uncertainty about how exactly to serve the world effectively. After all, with so many needs around, it can be difficult to choose where to focus your efforts. The solutions for this phase include identifying a cause or area that deeply resonates with you. Instead of trying to solve all the world's problems, choose an area where you feel you can make a difference, whether at the local level through volunteer work or on a broader scale, such as creating social or environmental projects. The key is to align your service with what sparks your passion and authenticity. In this phase, it's important to balance serving others with taking care of yourself. Many people, upon reaching this stage, dive so deeply into the desire to help that they end up burning out. Your spiritual growth continues, and self-care is part of that process. Serving the world doesn't mean neglecting your own spiritual and emotional needs. Living this phase includes getting involved in charity projects or community activities where you can apply your spiritual growth to help others progress on their own journeys. This can involve anything from small actions, like offering advice or emotional support to people close to you, to larger initiatives, like starting a meditation and spirituality group. You can also use your professional skills to contribute through a career or personal project aligned with your new values. What makes this phase so powerful is the sense of interconnection. As you serve the world, you realize that every positive action reverberates throughout the universe as a whole. This is the moment when you begin to live fully in your purpose, not just for your own growth, but for the benefit of everyone around you. The sense of separation that may have existed in the earlier stages is now replaced by a feeling of belonging and unity with everything that exists. Now that we've explored all the stages of spiritual transformation, it's essential to reflect on the importance of moving forward with clarity through each one. What becomes clear is that the process is not linear, and each stage brings its own challenges, but also offers unparalleled opportunities for growth and evolution. Clarity, in this context, is your compass. It helps guide you through the uncertainties, highs, and lows with more confidence and understanding. When you understand which stage you're in, you can better prepare for what's ahead and avoid feeling lost or confused. Clarity allows you to embrace each stage as a necessary part of your growth rather than an obstacle to overcome. Instead of resisting difficult emotions or situations, you learn to embrace them as part of your spiritual path. Moreover, this clarity has a direct impact on other areas of your life. Relationships become healthier and more authentic because you're more aware of yourself and your needs. Your emotional well-being improves as you become more resilient and connected to your true essence. Even your career can be influenced as you begin to align your professional choices with your spiritual values. Understanding these stages helps you overcome the tough moments and also provides a sense of peace and purpose along the way. Most importantly, it gives you the ability to live with more intention, knowing that every experience has significant value in your spiritual evolution. Throughout your spiritual transformation, it's natural to encounter challenges that may make the process difficult at times. The journey is not linear, and many people face feelings of frustration, stagnation, and even the temptation to give up. These challenges, however, are not signs of failure, but opportunities to deepen your learning and self-understanding. One of the most common challenges is the feeling of being stuck, unable to see progress. This can happen at any stage of the transformation, especially when it seems like changes aren't happening the way you expected. At this moment, it's important to practice patience and remember that spiritual growth is a continuous process that often unfolds at its own pace. Another frequent challenge is anxiety about the future. When you start realizing your potential for transformation, it's easy to feel overwhelmed with the need to make quick decisions or drastic changes. The solution here is to practice being present, fully embracing the current moment. Instead of focusing on where you think you should be, focus on what you can do right now to nurture your inner growth. The lack of support can also be an obstacle. Often, spiritual transformation is a solitary process, and the feeling of disconnection from those around you can amplify the challenge. Seeking support in spiritual groups, communities, or mentors is an effective way to overcome this isolation and find encouragement along the way. Each of these challenges is a normal part of the spiritual journey. Overcoming them with awareness and appropriate practices strengthens your ability to keep moving forward. Spiritual transformation helps us grow and leads us to a deeper level of understanding and connection with the world around us. As you go through the different stages, from the initial awakening to service to the world and universal connection, you discover that each stage has its purpose and that difficulties are actually disguised opportunities to evolve and align with who you truly are. When you emerge from each stage stronger and more aware, you realize that transformation isn't just personal, it also impacts those around you, creating a cycle of growth and connection. Keep cultivating patience and trust in each stage, knowing that the process is leading you to a more authentic and aligned version of yourself.